You're watching 11 Alive Morning News. 11 minutes of nonstop news starts now.
We start your 11 minutes of nonstop news with a breaking update in a double murder that happened in Hall County.
The victims, a mom and daughter. Ariana Manise is live in Buford. Ariana, you've been talking to deputies. This all ended with them shooting and killing a man.
Yeah, Cheryl and Aisha, authorities are telling us this morning that they initially came to this home on Long Creek Drive Tuesday around 11 p.m. and that's when they discovered both the mother and daughter dead. They said they were attempting to execute a search warrant, and that's when the suspect approached them with a knife, and that's when deputies shot and killed the suspect. And once they entered the home, they found both the mother and daughter. Their names, 42-year-old Kim Nguyen and 18-year-old Leanne Tran. Now, authorities, they have not yet released the suspect's name, but once we get that information, we will be sure to bring it to you live on air as well as online. Back to you.
Thanks, Ariana. We will continue following this story and all breaking news for you on our new streaming platform, 11 Alive Plus. You can download it now on Roku or Fire TV.
All right, getting out to our forecast, a lot of little ones getting ready to head out the door, Chesley.
Absolutely. We got a fog to deal with up here to the far north. This is over to the Blue Ridge area. You can see that dense fog that has settled in. Mainly up here to the north is where you're going to find that. South of the perimeter, let's say, we do have the clouds in place and some light rain coming out of those clouds as well. Over toward the Athens area, it extends down into Walton County and then further down to the south. Troop and Meriwether County is dealing with light showers so far this morning. Look for afternoon scattered thunderstorms or isolated thunderstorms to be around with a few of those scattered showers. Temperatures getting up to about 91 degrees for an afternoon high, and when you factor in the humidity, it's going to feel much hotter than that, so be advised.
It is go time for a lot of kids. The biggest group of students yet starting their new school year today. 15 districts all across the metro are back to class.
And that includes some of the largest districts in the state, and there is a lot to cover. Jerry Carnes joining us now, kicking it off in Clayton County.
I'm at Kemp Elementary School here in Clayton County. Administrators here say that they don't expect COVID-19 to cause the same disruptions as it has the past couple of years. Still, there is concern and protocols in place. Here's what's in place here in Clayton County. Anyone experiencing symptoms should not report to school. This is regarding students. A positive COVID test should be reported to the school system, and the student should isolate at home. Students exposed to COVID-19 can continue in-person learning as long as they test negative 3 and 5 days after exposure and attend school wearing a tight-fitting mask. When it comes to masks, they are required for teachers and other employees. That's even if they're healthy students, masks are an option.
And safety is a top priority for districts heading back to class today. The state's largest, Gwinnett County Schools, is beefing up security with a visitor check-in system that will run a check through the National Sex Offender Registry. Clayton County added body scanners and clear book bags for students to keep weapons off campus. And Henry County, the district is upping its SRO staff with 43 officers from the police department. Right now, there are only 22 officers at middle and high schools.
Let's take a look at the 15 districts headed back to class this morning. This is the list here, and you'll find a full list on 11alive.com, plus a look at who is up next.
Sticking with your 11 minutes of nonstop news, an Atlanta City Councilwoman is calling for changes to Wilson Mill Park in southwest Atlanta. Someone was shot and killed there late last night.
We are very disturbed by this. This is a very quiet neighborhood. Many of my neighbors are elderly, and this is really very shocking to us.
Councilwoman Boone says she wants Atlanta police to help close the park around 7 or 8 o'clock to curb possible violence. So there was no word on any suspects in last night's deadly shooting so far. And that was a look at your top headlines.
Another extension on the state's gas tax is on the way for you. Governor Kemp is expected to announce it today. The current suspension is set to expire next week. It saves you about 29 cents a gallon.
Today, President Biden will talk about the first meeting of a new task force aimed at protecting access to reproductive health care. The cabinet is going to talk about their path forward following the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. The president says he continues to call on Congress to write abortion protections into federal law. He's expected to speak alongside the vice president this afternoon in a virtual address to the nation. Tensions overseas are growing. That's as House Speaker Nancy Pelosi wraps up her controversial trip to Taiwan. She is the highest-ranking U.S. official to travel to the island in more than 20 years. Just hours ago, Pelosi met with members of parliament and Taiwan's president. The House Speaker emphasized America's support for Taiwan's democracy.
Fulton County's district attorney says her focus on fighting gangs and crime could ramp up in the next couple of weeks. DA Fonnie Willis says she's determined to stop violence. 11 Live's Molly Oak has the new developments.
The DA says she's working on several huge indictments right now involving different gangs. Willis says we could see those indictments come down in the next 60 to 90 days. We spoke with the DA yesterday during the National Night Out anti-crime event in Midtown and asked her why the focus on gangs.
They're stealing our children. They are literally stealing our youth because they're attracting them to this lifestyle that is harmful to them and harmful to us as a community. And so we want to rid the figureheads of that out. We want to rid the violence out. And so it has to be a major focus.
Willis says gangs are responsible for most of the violent crime in the city and in Fulton County.
Willis is also giving some more insight into her investigation into possible efforts to meddle in the results of Georgia's 2020 election. She says she still has at least 60 days to decide whether she's going to issue a subpoena ordering former President Donald Trump to testify. She says she's hopeful the special grand jury's work will wrap up by the end of the year.
Starting off in the 70s this morning, by noon we'll be into the 80s. We'll be looking at 87 degrees. Mix of sun and clouds will be the call, and showers starting to develop. A few isolated showers around with a few thunderstorms embedded in a couple of those. 91 degrees. That's actually going to be our high temperature for today, but it will feel much hotter than that. By 6 we'll drop down to 89 degrees with a few more of those isolated showers continue.
All right, we got a battle royale going down this afternoon. Braves, Phillies.
Well, we all wore our Braves blue and somebody wore their Phillies gray. 13 to 1 yesterday.
We'll get some revenge this afternoon.
Who are you sitting with? You can't sit with us. Who are you sitting
I'm
with?
gonna sit right now. I'm gonna sit in between both of y'all. I'm sitting right there.
Crash is buying the hot dogs. Have a good day, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Let's go, Phil.